my song. Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's insane. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
Holler! Welcome back to Coolest Alive, the daily dose of greatness, where we prove pop culture can still save your soul. 6 days a week, baby. Jesse Blaze Snyder is here, the coolest man alive. That's me. I'm the one who's here. I'm broadcasting from the electric underbelly of Blacklight District Studio. It's lovely here. It's Tuesday, so strap in for a rapid-fire obsession session over one of the greatest animated films ever drawn. Quick reminder of the weekly lineup so you never miss a hit. Mondays we do music, Wednesdays comics, Thursdays live action royalty, Fridays absolute wildcard chaos. This week it's a fucking a stage play my favorite stage play, period. It's Little Shop of Horrors, but like you got to see it live somewhere. And 5 short passion bombs every Wednesday is what I am doing from now on. So every week, and there's already a month and a half worth of these. You know, there's 5 fucking albums that you can already, just from the past 5 weeks, and there's 5 comic book graphic novels that you can go check out, and there's 5 animated films. 1 every week, baby, okay? And then Saturday, we either deep dive something incredible for a full hour or burn the whole system down for the sake of the culture. Now, we will kick off today's animation celebration in just a second. But first, a real quick shout out to my company, Blacklight District Studio, where we cook up boutique music and comics that you can't find anywhere else. I'd honestly not be here speaking to you now if there wasn't a need to promote my company and everything we do, everything I do. So full disclosure, I like creating great new music and creating great new comic books a billion times more than I love recommending them. But I really do love recommending them. But really, making them is my passion. So, Blacklight District Studios is my company, and we always have something brewing over on Kickstarter, which is really a pre-order space for us. And right now is no different. You can still jump in even late, and I think maybe get like another 2-3 weeks on this before I shut it down, the late orders anyway, of my new Solfeggio Sound Healing Frequency modern music album. It's written by me, and it's created using frequencies that will lower your heart rate and benefit you in all sorts of ways. I highly recommend it. You can search it up on Kickstarter or link to the campaign through our website at blacklightdistrict.studio. Our next project is an anthology comic book magazine called Sugar and Bones that I know you all will love. So stay tuned for the latest updates on that. And if you just want to listen to the Frequency album being offered on Kickstarter in a collective physical way, it's available digitally wherever you listen to your music under, quote, Jesse Blaze or, quote, Solfeggio Transmissions, Volume 1. Enjoy it, all right? It's great. This is just like, for people who want to get the collectible version of the album, that's what we're doing the Kickstarter for, and basically raising money for other things that we can do. But if you just want to listen to it, go find it. It's great. And I have a lot of other music that you'll find under Jesse Blaze, and I suspect you will probably enjoy a lot of it. Also, if your third eye isn't already tuned in every Sunday to everything they don't want you to know, my esoteric deep dive into the hidden truths of reality, then tune it in, motherfuckers. It's literally medicine for the psychic part of your brain. All right, enough foreplay. It's time to set your whole week ablaze with the fire of greatness. Let's go. Animation. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, 1993. Let me put you on the single best Batman movie ever made. You heard me, period. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. It dropped Christmas Day, 1993, as a sneaky theatrical expansion of the already legendary Batman the Animated Series. This is, and I'm telling you, this is peak Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, Eric Radomski, and that golden Shirley Walker score. Voice actors Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, and Mark Hamill are at their all-time best, playing Batman and the Joker, respectively. The Art Deco animation is flawless, and it's the only Batman story that actually nails the tragedy of Bruce Wayne's love life without feeling corny or unimportant. Critics loved it, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that fucking Rotten Tomatoes should really be a metric metric that matters, but it's highly rated everywhere. And, the only problem, though, was Warner Brothers really marketed it like they were ashamed of it or something. And there barely any promotion. It got dumped into theaters with no toys ready, and the box office bombed. But now, it is universally hailed as one of the greatest animated films ever. And this was at the time of the DVD release and stuff, so they certainly made their fucking money back. It didn't bomb on DVD. But seriously, this has influenced every serious take on Batman since, and it still makes grown adults cry when Andrea Beaumont says, "It just wasn't enough to save us." If you haven't seen it, fix your fucking life and reevaluate it, okay? Because you're doing things wrong. You're not living correctly, and I just need you to know that about yourself. Yeah, man. What can I say? This is the pinnacle from that moment. The Bruce Timm and Paul Dini led, Bruce Timm is probably most paramount, but Paul Dini is one of the great writers who is in there. Paul Dini's done writing in comics. Paul Dini worked on Masters of the Universe back in the day. He's a well-worn geek writer with real ability. He wrote one of my favorite Batman story. Well, it's not even a Batman story. It's one of my favorite stories in Detective Comics of all time. The Joker, he's got Robin tied up in the passenger seat of his vehicle, and he's driving him all around town, threatening to kill him. What a great, what a great issue of a comic book. Paul Dini is so talented. The whole crew here. I mean, the original Batman the Animated Series comes from gave us Harley Quinn. She comes from that world, and there's a lot of little original concepts and things that come from there. But largely, the Batman the Animated Series, what it really did was deliver for the first time ever the Batman from the comics. And, for those of you who are what a Bam Pow, isn't that Batman from the comics? Yes, there are different eras of Batman, but at a certain point in time, kind of in the 70s or whatever, the slowly but surely a serious and consistent take on Batman came to prominence. And essentially, it created what you would call the Batman melody, or I would. It's there's a certain feel to what a Batman story feels like, and a great writer who learns how to play the Batman song can show up and write a great Batman story all the time, just delivering it a certain way if you've studied all of these different people who have written great Batman stories. And the Batman animated series was so clearly made by people who have been studying the fucking great Batman stories, and it's incredible. Superman the animated series, which came later, is not quite as enjoyable, but also excellent. And that led into what eventually would be them crossing over, when it's Batman and Superman are the Super Friends. And then that would lead to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It would also lead to Batman Beyond and Static Shock and a whole bunch of other things that came out of what was this DC animated whatever. So we were quite a bit of ways into the creation of this whole mythology, through the animated series, when Batman Mask of the Phantasm came out in 1993. And, they had already hit their stride, and somebody told them they were making a movie that, they really just put everything into this. Andrea Beaumont, the character, is played by Dana Delaney, who I have had a crush on ever since Tombstone. And there's a couple other really reasonable cast members that are worth mentioning. We were talking about Gremlins the other day. Dick Miller, he plays Chucky Soul. Dick Miller's the Mr. Futterman. Mr. Futterman was in it before he passed away. But Abe Vigoda is one of the voices in here. The casting lady, whose name I used to know, for the Bruce Timm verse, she was amazing. She would bring such amazing people into the these casts, just such great vocal performances for these bad guys and so many of these things. Detective Harvey Bullock is making appearances in this movie. Who else we got in here? There was one or two people that I was hoping to shout out. Okay, we already got Mark Hamill, of course, and Stacy Keach, who plays Carl Belmont, the Phantasm. He's got a great voice. On IMDb here, we got a 7.8 from user reviews. And that's like, most people give it an 8. Lots of people giving it a fucking 10. Very small amount of people giving it a 1. It's always such a weirdo thing when you get this here. But written by people like Alan Burnett, and Alan Burnett, he has done, just these guys are real fans. They're people who really gave a shit about this stuff. And, he's worked as a producer on just all these shows that I'm mentioning, from Batman Beyond and Superman animated and whatnot. Paul Dini, I already spoke about. And a ton of, credit to Bob Kane and Bill Finger, the creator and uncredited real kind of creator of Batman and so much of the Batman mythology, Bill Finger. But also Martin Pascoe and Michael Reeves, who you probably don't know as well, but these are all people who had been working on these teams and doing a lot of this stuff for a long time. As with the directors and stuff, it tends to be a little bit kind of split, in the animation world. But Dan Ryba, sequence director, and Boyd Kirkland and Kevin Altieri, sequence director, Frank Parr. You probably, if you're at all a fan of some of this stuff, you might recognize any of those names. But, these guys were like a fucking brain trust for a while, like the Pixar brain trust. These were the people who just knew the material, knew the characters, loved the characters and loved the materials, and was trying to, bring the most mature and respectable version of this thing to life, while still absolutely appealing to a younger kid who might be interested in this fucking superhero series. This is, most of the movie here is based on the graphic novel Batman Year One, which is considered one of the greatest Batman graphic novels that's ever made, and Batman Year Two. I've read all this stuff. The Phantasm character in the comics looks a little bit different. He has like a red costume, but the same kind of skull mask or whatever. These were some classics already, and they took these classics and they really adapted them wonderfully. The flashback to Batman's first night of crime fighting, is in this movie here. This really does get to be kind of a little bit of a Batman Begins origin story from the animated world. You see him donning a jacket and a ski hat, and this is where so much of the fucking Batman Begins and like people were more open to these concepts and the origin of Batman and this kind of stuff, because how well it was all done in this film. Like I said, the design and concept of the Phantasm was derived from the Reaper, which was the primary villain of Year Two. But they definitely took some creative liberties and stuff. But ultimately, they didn't take any sort of creative liberties when it came to just the feel and the vibe, and it just was so wonderful in how respectable it is. And, it's just so great because it's a great Batman story that doesn't rely on the Joker. It doesn't rely on the Penguin. It doesn't rely on all of these like kitschy, outlandish villains that traditionally is what, the bread and butter and the meat of the sandwich in a Batman story is. But by doing it that way, it just it really demonstrates, unlike a lot of the other films, live action films, whatever, how intrinsically artful and beautiful this world is, how many great stories there are to tell within it, what a great character Bruce Wayne and Batman is. When my mom watches the films, she's always said to me, she's like, Batman's the least interesting character in his own movie. And she's right. That's not the case here with Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And honestly, that's not necessarily the case in the Batman animated series, which is so great. But my mom's not sitting watching the animated, so generally speaking, she has a hard time with animation. But in the live action, dude, I don't think they've ever gotten Bruce Wayne, Batman right. Everything always revolves around a love story of some kind. And honestly, this one is no different, but this one actually adapts a great love story from the comics and is one of the few times where it works. And Batman is not lost. The Batman character is not lost in whatever the relationship might be, and the whole thing isn't derailed by that. It's not my favorite, my favorite Batman stories are in the comics. When it comes to the movies and stuff, though, I think this is the most definitive Batman piece. And I might maybe watch The Dark Knight more, or even Batman Forever a little more, or the first Batman, like for nostalgia wise, and to see that live action, to see it live. But this one is the one that I respect its execution. This is the one that I think has the most ultimate meaning and value as a representative time capsule of what Batman really is and what made fans of the comic books continue to follow the character and continue to show up year after year after year, still to this day, as people are creating new Batman things. And you got Scott Snyder, shout out Scott Snyder, he's a buddy, who's doing the absolute Batman and transforming his thing and whatever. But this is the thing that me and Scott and everybody else was like, oh God, I love this. I would love to see this on the big screen. And this Batman Mask of the Phantasm, it has never come to the live action big screen the way this Batman is brought here in animation. If you want to see the best of really the mythology, the way that it's supposed to kind of feel and whatnot, watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm. You will be doing yourself an absolute favor. And that's it. That's the shot. Your official coolest alive recommendation of this Tuesday, injected straight into your veins. We'll be right back Monday with music, Tuesday with animation, Wednesday with comics, Thursday with live action, Friday with Wildcard Madness, and Saturday with the full hour mother show that crowns kings and sometimes burns kingdoms down. Slide into my DMs or email me, jbs@blacklightdistrict.studio, and tell me what's currently melting your face off, whether it's something that I've mentioned or something that you want to recommend to me. I read every single message I get. Do not keep sleeping on my other podcast, Everything They Don't Want You to Know. We're dropping fresh esoteric fire every single Sunday, and that's where we rip the mask of the Phantasm with a mask off reality, and we hand you the actual instruction manual for reality. And yes, Blacklight District Studio, it's still out here cooking boutique music, comics, and merch that you can't get anywhere else. Jump in on the current Kickstarter or late pledge the glow-in-the-dark goodies before they're gone forever at blacklightdistrict.studio. This is Jesse Blaze Snyder, beaming out from the neon heart of the Blacklight District, telling you one last time, stay cool and stay lively, baby. Love you guys. See you next time. You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snyder. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part! Isn't it heavy? It's gonna be fucking awesome. Coolest alive. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I got lyrics coming out me bum for days. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living the shit. My voice is gonna be fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right or text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top of the awesome. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see.
The podcast playground. All right.